We're in the midst of the annual Bible Conference of this Corps, and we've been privileged to have Lieutenant Colonels Gene and Edie Pigford with us this weekend. Some of you were here on Friday afternoon, and then Friday evening, and then Saturday morning. We've had 3 separate sessions, and those of us who were here, I know, walked away with new insights, as both Major Pam and I have, from listening to the Colonel share with us. Colonel and Mr. Pigford are retired Salvation Army officers, and they've had appointments all over the northeastern part of our country, including 2 different appointments in Canada. They were also principals of our training college in the Eastern Territory, and their last appointment was serving as pastoral and counseling support officers for the Eastern Territory. And even in retirement, they tell us that they are providing pastoral care for many of the officers in that region. But they're not only involved in ministry within the Salvation Army, because Colonel Pigford is a pilot, and they're involved in flying organizations, and also Colonel Gene is serving in his 6th year as a supervisor for the township of Sydney, New York. So he's involved outside the Army as well as within the Army, and so I know you'll enjoy listening to both of them this morning, and we'll begin with Colonel Edie come and share her testimony with us. Edie?
What a wonderful weekend we're enjoying. Our daughter, who lives outside of Buffalo, texted us this morning and said the groundhog has said spring will be early. Now, I know you may not notice the difference quite as much as we do, but it is snowing at home today, although it's not much. But not only the warmth of the air have we enjoyed, but what a wonderful opportunity to just enjoy the beauty and the warmth of this fellowship. Don't take it for granted. It's a gift that God has given to you. When the Corps officer asked if I would share my testimony, I wondered what I would say if I was called by Ben Matlock or Perry Mason to sit on the witness stand and testify to the reality of God, to the personal experience I had with God. What questions would he ask me? I thought he might say, when did you first know that you had a heavenly Father? And I guess the answer to that would be I've known it my whole life because my parents told me about him. They showed me the reality of a heavenly Father who loved me. I saw them love him back. And then he might ask me, then when you were older, did you notice anything different in your parents and other parents? And I must say over the last more recent years, I'm reminded over and over again of the gifts of love that my earthly fathers and mother showed me about my heavenly Father. You see, it wasn't just in their daily life. It was in everything they said and did to affect my life. And I am so grateful for the gift that he gave to me of those parents. Sort of like memories like this. I remember my father and mother kneeling beside their bed as I would pass their room and go up to my attic bedroom. And I would see just the feet of my father as he was kneeling beside his bed at nighttime. I remember times around the table when we would sing choruses and sing promises. And I discovered that that was not normal. I thought every kid grew up like that. And as I meet with children now, as I see and remember friends I've had that didn't have that. So I suppose my question to Mr. Perry Mason or Mr. Matlock would be, yes, I guess my parents were different. I saw the relationship they had with the Heavenly Father. But then they might ask me, well, when do you recall choosing to love this Heavenly Father yourself personally? And I would have to remember a day when I was about 6 in a little corps, well, not a little corps, in Buffalo, the Buffalo Kensington Corps in Western New York. And I can remember for the very first time, all by myself, without anybody saying to me, you want to go up and pray? I had never done that before, but there was something that morning. I have no idea what the sermon was about. I have no recollection of if we were singing or what we were doing, but I can remember sitting there in my seat and saying, yeah, I want to go up and bow before him. I want to tell him that I love him. I wasn't aware, I don't think, of anybody else. I was aware of the folding chairs that we sat on back then and the creaky sound they made as I got up. But I was just so young. But I have never forgotten that experience. I've never forgotten the faith I had that day to want to say, I want to go and bow before him. I want to ask him to forgive me of my sin. As I grew up, me being the middle child, that's a story in itself according to sociologists, the middle child, left-handed middle child. So I had a few handicaps growing up. But it's through the intervention of my left-handedness that I met Gene. Our first conversation was because he told me, can I sit here? And I said, yeah, let me move over because I'm left-handed and I don't want to bump you. You see, I had two sisters who told me I was bumping them continually. And so he sat down saying, don't worry, I'm left-handed too. A beginning of a very, very wonderful and long, loving relationship. I think maybe God's up there smiling and say, I had to make him left-handed so you could meet him. Mom shared with me a verse as I was growing up, and she would say to me, remember the verse that says, I believe, help my unbelief, a prayer. And I went through experiences in life that were challenging, that were difficult. Some were absolutely miraculous, where I believe the Lord literally protected us. Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief, help my days of doubting. If I have a favorite verse, and I don't think I really do, but it's a verse that I say to myself regularly, trust in the Lord, Edie, with all your heart. I don't think Edie is in everybody's Bible, but it's in mine. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding. That's underlined in my Bible. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. 1 John 3:1, behold what manner of love the Father has given to me, and you too, that I should be called his child. I love him this morning. I thank you for the opportunity of allowing us to worship with you. And I pray that he will speak to me, that I will listen, and you will too. God bless you.